Hi, welcome to Neurons AI, the platform demo. Today we will go through the platform from a perspective of a marketer's point of view, thinking of yourself as either being the marketing manager, the paid specialist, the creative designer, or someone who works in that marketing process, everything from idea stage all the way to the final ad in market. Now, Neurons AI is a platform that is here to help you validate and also optimize advertising before going to market. So making sure that every single ad actually matters. It is also possible to use it for package design and even landing pages or above the fold assessments of websites. Now, if we look at the platform itself, it accepts images, videos, and PDFs. Those are the three file formats that we currently accept in the platform, and this means that you can analyze anything from social media ads, TV ads, out of home, package design, web landing pages, etc. As you can see on my screen right now, we have a bunch of different assets. Some of it is POS or point of sales material, and some of it is animated banners, TV ads, and also display ads. The first thing I want you to pay attention to are those three ads here in the top left corner. Now, what you see in the top left of those ads is a marker saying whether an ad is ready to launch, needs optimization, or simply needs to be reiterated. So, of course, this means that this one will not be ready to launch. This one is almost there. You could launch it, but it could be slightly better. This one is ready to launch. You don't need to do more with it. Of course, you can always optimize if you want to still. What you also need to pay attention to are these numbers right here, the 7.2, 6.9, and 2.1. Now, those numbers represent the Neurons impact score. The Neurons impact score is a score that's weighted between all of our different neuroscientific metrics. This means things like attention, emotions, cognitive demand, memory, and also specific attention to given elements. So for example, how much attention does your brand get, or your call to action, or for that sake, your copy. So this means this score is really your one score to tell you whether the ad is ready or not, and also a very easy to compare function. So here you have three that have very different elements into it. So not ready, almost ready, and ready. Now I'll take you through an example of this ad. So we'll try the Pepsi ad down here. It has a 6.5 in the Neurons impact score, which goes from 1 to 10, which means it is above standard, being 5. So it's still a good ad, but there are options for optimization. The question is, what do we need to do to make it better? So if we go into the actual asset, we'll see here that first of all, on the left side, you'll get what we call the attention heat map. The attention heat map is telling you exactly how much attention is going to different places. The more red, the more the attention it gets. The less attention. This of course means as we look here, a lot of attention will go to that centerpiece, the actual copy of the ad, storytelling piece to it, and then we will get a massive amount of attention to the happy, engaged viewers of the football game. Now what we do see we won't get is a lot of attention to, for example, product moments like these, or even the main products in the center, which are pretty big if you want to look at it from an objective perspective. But in the moment, when people are fast scrolling through things and they're on their way, these products will not stand out as well as they could be. So this is just from an attention perspective. Now on the right side you see here is the score of a 6.5. As you can see, it goes from 1 to 10 and you're on close to that green level, which starts at a 7. Now 6.5 is okay to go to market with. It's still a good ad. It's much better performing than the average, and it's not in the lower segment at all. But there are some things that we can improve here. So as you can see here, we also have what's called top scores. So we can see the ad is actually very memorable. The attention that it starts at is good and it ends at is good. And then we also see that the total attention on the headline is a bit low, or actually maybe we have too much attention on the headline. The total attention on the product is not optimal, and the total attention on the branding is neither as optimal as we want it to. So as we go further into the product, we can actually see here that this is all based on brand building, food and beverage, and a display ad. This means you actually have the option to give many different benchmarks for your assets. So whether you're in food and bev, in personal care, household products, or even if you're in different services like travel and hospitality, telecommunication, you have specific benchmarks for high performance ads. And that is what this all is based on. You're going to be compared to the best in class out there. And you, of course, want to compare yourself to that because that is where you get real ROI. Now, what is the next step from here? That is to click on what we call optimize your creative. So as we click on the optimize creative, what happens is we have a multi-model LLM function. This means we have built in with the best in class LLM solutions. It understands everything that's related to the visual, so people, text, brands, copy, all of these different things. It also can work with both images and video and even audio. And all of this, it takes into account together with all of our proprietary scores. And I'll get to you with all of the detailed scores in just a moment, but here we will start with the actual recommendations piece. So on the recommendations, you can see here that it clearly tells you a few different things that you could do to make this ad better. So for example, integrating the product naturally. I actually like this one a lot because I think it makes a ton of sense and you may not think about it while you sit and create an ad like this. So for example, show Pepsi cans within the fans' celebration moments, mid-sip during cheers, or as a viewing ritual element. Current placement lacks emotional charge despite moderate attention on products. So even though this product actually gets attention, it's not really built into the story. We have actually built it into the story here, but no one is going to see that. So instead of these two guys just cheering and this guy watching them, we should actually have this guy taking a sip out of that Pepsi can and of course not covering the logo with his hands. This will give us a much better in the moment, in the story brand experience. And that will make people connect the football match to the actual product. Now, if you want to dig deeper and you say, hey, this is great, I love the recommendations, but why do you recommend that? Then you can go to our detailed metrics section. Now, the metrics section is where it gets a little bit detailed and a little bit specific and where you can deep dive a lot. Because here you can go in and you can see all of our scores. So focus, engagement, cognitive demand, and memory. You can even see what is a high performance ad level. And here you can see it does well on focus, engagement, and memory, but cognitive demand is too high. Too many things are happening at the same time. It's a little bit too complex and we need to build that story easier together. And also we have the insights panel. This insights panel tells you exactly what the scores mean. So what is going to happen and what is really going on, all driven by this expert LLM that we have built. Finally, you also have what we call brand building impact metrics. So you can see here what are the most important elements for getting brand building. As you can see here, the attention to the product is below industry standards. So this means the product actually needs more attention. We also see that the branding is close, but not really there. And we then see that there are other elements like, for example, the memory score and other elements that are doing really well. So we have an opportunity here to very quickly scope in and say, okay, we need to fix something on the branding and on the product. Those are the two most important elements that we can cover here. Now, a final thing we can touch on is an even deeper detailed view, which is called areas of interest. Now, areas of interest gives you the opportunity to look at how much attention actually goes to every single element in the ad. Now, it is interesting because let's try something here. We'll take the people and we'll see how much attention actually goes to them. We will take the main copy here and then we will take the football players on the right side. Now let's generate those results and see what really happens. So as you can see here, we are now looking at a completely different view because now we don't have only the branding and products, we actually have the whole ad cut into different pieces. Here you can see that people in the ad takes up 21.4% of the attention, the copy takes up almost 40% of the attention, and the football players around 10%. And if we look at the product, it's only 14.5%. So if you put all of these together, you have 70% of the attention is going to everything else than the product and the story that Pepsi actually wants to tell. The rest of it is being driven by Pepsi. But this also means that there is a 70-30 balance. And we need to be careful about that because that means that most people will actually only see these moments. If you also try to say, hey, what about memory? How does that place itself? It's actually interesting because you can do the same. You can figure out exactly how much memory goes to every single part of the ad. So these people are memorable with a 25 score, the copy is a 14.4, and the football players is 11.5. The product itself is a 7.2. So now again, you're seeing about 70-80% of the memory that people will remember of this ad will be happy people watching football games. So what Pepsi did here was super smart if they wanted people to attend the New York Giants games or watch them online, because this ad will be highly engaging and highly memorable for watching New York Giants matches and having fun while doing so. But the brand itself and the product did not end up getting the attention or the memorability that we wanted it to. So imagine this person had actually taken a sip and that can had been just right here where the most kind of memorable moment is, and the brand itself on the can was not covered. Now Pepsi would have instantly changed the storyline, and the moment would have been enjoying Pepsi in a happy moment with the New York Giants. So this is really how you can deep dive into the Neurons AI. But of course, as a marketer, it often means that you just want to go here, you just want to see, is it good enough? If not, how do I optimize it? And then you move on from there. If you want to deep dive, it's all in here. And you can see that from the analysis that I just did. Of course, this is all possible for video as well. So if we take a video here, for example, a TV ad from H&M, we can see here that the heat maps are playing on the left side just as the with the images, and the scoring as an overall is here. We can also go into the optimize section and we can get very specific information about when do we need to do things. So for example, 15-20 seconds of the ad, XYZ, we can see that during the 2 to 3 most emotive close-ups, we need to create some strategic pauses and so forth. So it really means that this AI solution is like having a neuroscience, behavioral science, and marketing expert all in one, helping you with objective insights. This was it for now. Thank you so much for listening in and have a great day.